Welcome, everyone, to Mongols Pregame'n Edition. This is where we spend a few minutes chatting with the team prior to the next matchup. Joining me for this one is the team's Iron Man, who is also now their captain, Mr. Danny Griffin. Danny, thanks for joining me, man. How's it going?
Good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. First of all, congrats on the captaincy. Have you noticed it changing you personally as a player?
I'd say, yeah, there's definitely a lot more thought that goes into, your role changes a little bit. Obviously having a leadership role. I'd say, yeah, definitely it's like there's more responsibility. There's more that goes into it in your day to day. But definitely a role that I embrace and one that is a big honor for me in my career to be able to wear the armband here for my first club. So yeah, I had a good leader my first 4 years here. So, can take things from Kenny and obviously can always talk to him about things. The coaching staff does a good job. So yeah, just transitioning into that role was smooth for me. And yeah, I'd say it's changed me as a player because obviously for me, I've always been someone that wants to help the guys around me get better. And certainly the guys around me have helped me get better. So yeah, just continuing in that direction and really enjoying it.
So you're the guy who basically has to go talk to the ref whenever the ref sort of needs a talking to. I've always wanted to know this. There are times that it seems like you have to go talk to the ref just because like that's kind of the role. When you go up to the ref, how often is it actually you trying to get the ref to change their mind versus like trying to soften them for potentially the next call?
There's definitely a balance between the two. Obviously, debating on how the game is going too. Sometimes it's a little more heated of a debate than more of a nice chat. But yeah, I just think obviously we play our game. You can't really buy into what the refs have going and what they say. But yeah, obviously just to not let them be influenced too much by the other side, the fans. So yeah, definitely go up and talk to them. So yeah.
Do you find yourself at times where like you have to almost go from like pure adrenaline to like business mode because you're like just all fired up and you're like, I got to go talk to this guy. Like I got to be cool. Do you have to navigate that?
Definitely at times because I think sometimes I'm like my immediate reaction. Definitely, I'm like, okay, yeah, I probably what I would like to say right now may not be what's best to say. So I think at times you definitely have to compose yourself and talk. But I think guys are familiar with the rest in this league, and I think sometimes you may have an issue that can't make everyone happy. But yeah, just obviously that role as a captain, you want to be able to talk to them and have your say in what you feel and what you're seeing throughout the game, just to make sure everything's fair.
Yeah, it makes sense. Earlier this season, you were playing as a center back, and there was a lot of speculation around, was this a tactical move? Was this sort of patching holes while guys were out hurt? Was this something new for you? I'm just curious, what were your thoughts on the whole center back thing, and could you give us any sort of insight as to why we were trying it?
Yes, I would say just based off of how we went in preseason, just where we were at as a team. I think that's just where we felt that was the best position for me, and of course, best for me to start there. And me being comfortable with that role, and obviously doing what I can to help the team in any way. I played center back for coach in games in the years past, like the year before I played it in Oakland, or even in those playoff games in that playoff run we had. I played center back to finish off those games in overtime, so it was definitely a role that I was comfortable with and have done before, even against San Antonio and good teams. I think. Obviously, for us, our start wasn't the way we wanted to start. I think that's just as a team as a whole, we didn't perform at the level that we know we can. But yeah, I think just the decision behind that there was just where we were at previously, and obviously, now as we came together, guys stepping into their roles as center backs, solidifying their spots, and you see good guys behind me that can organize me when I'm back in the midfield now. So I think guys do well with their possessions, and obviously we've always had guys that can play multiple positions as well too. So being a center mid, dropping into center back, you can see the game. Maybe it's even a little more time on the ball depending on the team's pressing or not. So it was definitely something I was comfortable with, and who knows if we'll see it in any more games. But yeah, that was just the idea behind it in the beginning of the season, and so I jumped back into the midfield.
What do you think personally your best position is? We've seen you all over the field, from center back to almost as like a second attacker when you sort of came back last season. There were moments like that. Yeah. Personally, what's your favorite spot?
I would say, I feel like for me perfectly is like the 8, because obviously a lot of times I'm deeper, a lot of times I'm higher. I like both a lot because obviously you're higher, closer to goal. Still finding those ways to, being in the midfield. We have guys in our midfield that can do all three as well. Kenny can do the same thing. Robbie
Mm-hmm.
can do the same thing. I think that's what's a strong part about our midfield, and that's always been a strong part of our team. So I think, yeah, favorite would probably be the in between because I like to do both. I like to do the dirty work. I like to defend. I like to be in a position where I get the ball a lot and set the rhythm and set a tone. And I also like to be higher up the field near the attackers and what I can do to contribute in creating goals. So I think that perfect in between is definitely my favorite because obviously I enjoy doing both.
Yeah. No, love it. We talked to Kenny last weekend, and I asked him about Memphis and the field, and do you need to treat the field any differently? We saw in the game this past weekend the turf was coming up, and obviously we didn't get the result that we wanted. I'll ask you the same question before we get into the result. Do you find yourself playing any differently when you know the conditions like that aren't great?
I would say no, just because. Yeah, I think going into it, like you go in there, you have your warm up on the field, so that gives you some time to acclimate to the field, the surface. But yeah, obviously knowing going into the game, you know what you have to do, and just about executing because obviously both teams are playing with that surface too. So I'd say yeah, I don't feel myself changing. We play on some fields that the pitch is perfect.
Yeah.
They wet it. You play on all kinds of pitches. You got to be able to play on everything. So I say yeah, definitely not too much on that end.
Yeah. What's the team's reaction been like this week after the loss to Memphis?
There's certainly a response for the group. We're frustrated, obviously, that we didn't play it to our level, to our standard in that game. Even the 2 games prior to that didn't score as much as we feel we could have, and definitely didn't get the results that we feel we could have. I think there's definitely just a big response this week. Like we know going forward that all right, those last few games weren't good enough. They weren't to our standard. We're back at home now. Anything less than a win at home is a loss to us. So I think, yeah, there's definitely a big response from the guys. On Monday morning, you see guys in smiles because we're back already. We're back ready to get to work. So we put that in the back rearview mirror. You go over the film, you look at what we can improve on, and then Monday it's just smiles again, back to work, and everything going towards Indy on Saturday.
I was going to say Indy are on a bit of a hot streak. So how are you guys preparing for them? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, we know they're a good team. Obviously, we feel good about it because we're confident in the group that we have. We'll have a game plan there that we need to execute. Being back in front of our home fans, they'll certainly lift us and they'll be there showing out for us. So, yeah, the goal for us is obviously to get 3 points. So that's what we need and that's what we want. And that's what we plan to do.
So, A, did you know that they're giving away Kenny Forbes bobbleheads at the game? And B, will you try to get one?
I did hear that. So I'll definitely have to try and get one. Maybe my fiance will get one in the stands.
Right.
I'll have to ask. I'll definitely try and get my hands on one.
Yeah. Well, so the Hounds announced this Play for Change initiative recently, where you can buy tickets through the players, and a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the charity of their choosing. I'm curious, what charity did you choose, and how can people get their tickets through you?
I chose the Humane Society and the Ronald McDonald House here in Pittsburgh. Those were important to me. It's hard to choose between the two, so I asked if I would be able to do both, and I'm glad and lucky that I was able to do both. I'd say this is a great initiative from the club, from the team, because as much as the community gives to us, we want to be able to give to the community and help in any way we can. And, it's something that we're proud to do and lucky to do. So I know I posted the link on my Instagram story, and we'll post again tomorrow before the game. But just anyone that goes and clicks on, buys it through the link, a portion of that will be donated to those charities.
I think it's a great program. It's a great idea. 2 great charities. So well done to you, Danny. Want to be respectful of your time. I always appreciate getting the chance to chat with you. Obviously, best of luck this weekend at home, and hopefully we'll talk again real soon.
Sounds good, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate you for having me on.